Hello and welcome back to The Pursuit. My name is Josue Peralta, joined by my sister Abby. How you doing, Doc?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. On this second episode of Breakups, or third episode of this season, I want to talk about how you reorient your future after a breakup. Now, I think it's normal, and I mean, correct me if you think I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, but I think it's normal for
When
people
do you not think you're wrong?
in a long-term relationship to begin to plan their future together.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
I don't know where I heard it, so I don't know who to attribute it to, but the rule has always been that you don't plan ahead longer than you've been together. For example, if you've only been together for a week, don't plan 6 months ahead with this person. You've only been together for a week. So if you've been together for a month, start planning out a month ahead. If you're together for 6 months, you can start planning out 6 months ahead, and so on and so forth. I think that's a sweet rule.
I think it's a good starting point. I think it's a
how
little
would
bit
you
more
better it?
nuanced than that.
Okay.
I think it can look different for different relationships.
Okay.
When you're older, you kind of know where the trajectory of your life is going. Or if you already have children, you already know things. So like some relationships go faster than others.
Agreed.
So I think if you have nowhere to start, I think that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a hard rule. I think the way I like to see it is the way I learned from Matthew Hussey, where it's kind of keeping a will see mindset, where it's more not like making up all these stories in your head, like going a million miles a minute, which is usually anxiety towards the future, but more of like, we'll see, like you're moving forward, but it's like things can change,
right?
And you're acknowledging that, and you're ready for it. So I like that perspective more as a time perspective, since relationships can be different and dynamics can be different.
That's true. I think there's also the limitation of if you've been together for a year and you're in your 30s and you already kind of know this person, it would be too limited of a mindset to only think a year ahead.
Yeah.
Right. To where if you're together for 2 years, you're like, well, I'm only thinking 2 years ahead. So what? You can only start thinking a decade ahead if you've been together with a person for a decade. It doesn't make any sense. So it does, the rule does have its limitation. It does cap out eventually.
And I think also it applies to all of our life. You know, God says, don't worry about tomorrow.
Right.
For tomorrow will come with its own problems.
True.
And I think in a way this can be applied to a relationship. Not saying when he says don't worry about tomorrow, it's not to have goals, dreams, and everything, whatever, but it means to be present in the moment today. So I think that's the biggest thing to have in a relationship.
No, I think that's fair. Planning, I think, is also kind of a broad term in the sense that you don't just plan for like your future with this person or what we're going to do for Christmas, for example. You're also planning like vacations.
Yeah.
For example, if you're taking a cruise with your family in the fall, do I bring Matilda along or not? Well, is she included in the family pictures at Christmas or not?
Well, I mean, with the family pictures, don't they usually say you put them at the end so you can crop them out?
Yes, although I have heard a family say no ring, no
picture.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. I did see a video about this girl. She's like, you guys keep asking me where my man's at. And she finally made a video. She's like, I'm engaged. And someone was like, oh, you never spoke about him. She's like, I didn't have a ring. There was nothing to say.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was a little extreme, but
a little bit.
That's kind of like along the same lines of like until it's something solid, you're not making it into something solid like a picture.
Yeah, like a family picture.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But more than that, I think also even your career. So let's say this person is a traveling nurse and they really want him or her, because there's nurses now.
Men, nurses.
They, let's say they got a call, or a doctor even, or a missionary. They got a call to work in Montana, middle of Montana.
Mm-hmm.
You're a marketing executive or you work at a marketing firm. What are you gonna do in Montana? Like there's no marketing out there, so to
So
speak.
to speak, yeah.
So it's not just planning for like the little things or the vacations. It's for the big
The
things
big
too.
things.
And also like the together plans. Um, like are we like when do you start asking the what are we questions long term? Like when like I'll ask you, when do you think it would be appropriate for you to start wondering, is he gonna propose or not? Like when would you start asking yourself that?
Um,
I don't think it would be 6 months in.
no. Maybe after the year.
At the year point.
Maybe starting. It all depends how the trajectory of the relationship is going
Okay.
and life situations
Yeah.
that can, trigger it, but other than that, the year, if anything,
Do you think
no
the
other
year point?
information. Yeah, because like I've heard time and time again from like guys that like, oh, guys know if they want to marry the woman by a certain point.
That's fair.
So it's kind of like if at the year mark, the conversations aren't going there, you know?
Fair. Um, I would say sooner for me. Well, sooner for me from the perspective of
You're the one proposing.
if I'm not comfortable with her or if I'm not seeing us in the future together
Hmm.
by a certain, I don't know what the time frame is. I would say within 4 months.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like, guys know if they want to put a ring on it in like 3 months or whatever.
I wanted to put a ring on El Rey, but
So,
didn't
mm,
didn't work out that way.
I mean,
Do you think it would be easier when it comes to like breaking up if in your case it's within the year mark or with me within the 4 month mark or whatever it is? Um, if there's no long term play, does it make it easier? When it comes to like reorienting your future where you're like, well, we weren't together for that long, so I guess I don't really have to deal with like shenanigans.
well,
I don't think it makes it that much easier.
I don't think it makes it easier
I think it's harder
because,
for women because you guys are, following in a plan that hopefully the man has thought out and put to pen and
yeah,
paper. But
there's that to consider. But I just think of a breakup in and of itself, it's more emotional. I feel like you do start thinking of your plans, but it's like that's not the first thing that comes to your mind when you're going through it. Like I've
true.
never been through breakup, but I've been through disappointment. It's more of like the feeling. I'm not thinking of everything else. Um, but speaking of planning specifically, I think it makes it harder depending on how you went about planning it. Um, let me
Yeah.
let me kind of
Whatever do
think
you
what I'm saying.
mean?
Like for example, like if I was just a girl that I kind of I'm just gonna do whatever he's doing, or like he moves, I'm gonna move. Like kind of just willy nilly planning my life, like no thought into it. Kind of like
Some girls
okay,
like that,
you say jump, I'll jump with you. Um,
but that's kind of hot, right? I'll follow you to the ends of the world.
yeah,
It's kind
it
of hot.
sounds hot, like just, but what does that mean, really? I think when you put God into the whole picture of planning and you're planning proportionally to the time you've been together in a way, like I told you, like that we'll see mindset, I think it can help you in the long run because like except for women like you're saying it affects us because a lot of the times we tell our story in our minds of like well we're going to get married and you're already planning the wedding and all this stuff and then you're mourning something you never got. You're mourning
Mm.
all these plans in your mind. So if you go about planning in the sense of like when the situations come up, when the conversations come up in a more methodical, like kind of way of like that we'll see like thing, when it does break you up, you didn't throw your life
Away. Well,
away.
no, or just didn't. There isn't like a gap.
Or
There isn't that gap.
you didn't stop living your
True.
life
That's a good way of putting
because
it.
a lot of the times people when they start dating they stop living their life. It's all about their significant
I think
other.
that's that's immature love. I would say that's what that looks
It
like.
is, but I think it can be just instinctual to want to do that, right? Like you find somebody you really like and you want to spend all that time with your favorite person.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's like Benny. Benny just follows me everywhere. So what I'm trying to say is it can hurt to the proportion of how you're actually doing it in a mindset of presence and not anxiety.
That's fair. Because I do think that it is normal to start, or I should say, the longer you are with your partner, the more that you start seeing how your actions affect them and their
Mm-hmm.
future. So if you know, like, hey, she wants to lay down roots, and you're like, well, I'm going to quit my job and start my own business. That puts everything into turmoil, into
Mm-hmm.
like put like uneven footing now. Where if you start your own business but you fail, there goes any money that you would have put away for a wedding, for a vacation together, for whatever it may be.
Well, I mean, where does that money go? It
Or like, for
just goes
example,
back into your bank account.
well, yes and no, right? Because let's say, for example, like for me, like I don't know if I should mention this or not, but like one of the
Oh
one of the
yeah.
reasons that Ithre was able to study as much as she did was
Yeah.
because of, some
Mm-hmm.
help that she got. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
And
You don't
it,
get that back.
I don't get that back. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't lament not having it back because I see the fruit
Yeah.
of what she was able to accomplish, and now
Mm-hmm.
now her future is very bright, brighter than she would have ever had it
Yeah.
had that not been there. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when it comes to that, it's very strange to be like, and this was a point of contention sometimes in our relationship, to where, like, in my mind, how like I'm a planner, and you know that, and I've become more of a planner. When I was with her, she would hate that I wasn't, but when I freaking finally like woke up, and I was like, she was right this whole time. But the stupid thing is like I'm like that by nature. So I was going against my nature by not
Mm-hmm.
doing it. So I don't even
Mm-hmm.
know where that was coming from. Maybe it was trauma response. I don't even know, to
I
be
think
honest.
sometimes when you're younger, you think it's cool not to plan,
Fair.
where you do a lot of the stuff other people are doing, and then you go
I think I was
against your
terrified of like
natural
of
one.
missing out. That if
Yeah,
I
exactly.
planned
FOMO.
everything, that my life would just be so monotonous and boring. But
Mm-hmm.
you can plan around fun too. I mean, I
Hmm.
kind of learned that. But anyway, that's not the point. If you're listening, I'm so sorry.
I,
Uh,
I think though, like all going off of that, it made me think of invest as much as you're willing to lose.
yeah.
When it comes to dating and when it comes to planning with someone, you can only invest so far. So like for example, let's say I get in a relationship. I'm not for me to like let's say move all the way to California. Am I
Is not in
will
the cards.
it is. It could possibly be. But what I'm trying to say is how long have we been dating, right? I'm
Yes.
not going to invest losing everything I have here for a 3-month relationship unless
Right.
I get
Right.
like a neon sign from God saying,
Vamos.
go,
Go.
right? Because it's just like, I feel like I wouldn't hear the end of it from you guys. Be like, Abiga, you're so
You're
dumb.
just dumb. What are you doing,
Like,
bro?
so it's kind of,
And you shouldn't hear the end of it.
I should. I should hear the end of it
If you
because
disobeyed God, come on now.
oh well, yeah, God. I guess I'm talking about from you guys, like you
Well,
know,
if we know that God's like, yeah, like if we sense that everything is lining up, and you're like, well, I think we will mess you up,
yeah,
as we should.
yeah. So like investing until you're willing, what you're willing to lose when it comes
Yeah,
to planning, I think is a good thing too.
I think that no, I think that's great. I think also like how you act, and the longer that you're together, and the fact that we had plans for marriage, and that all that stuff, we're now like reorienting. My future is kind of strange in the sense that I don't my future's not really that clear that much anymore, where I used to have like a purpose, to where an additional purpose, to where it's like, okay, well, her and I are gonna get together, we're gonna get married here, what, so then I'm like
Mhm.
working towards this end.
Mhm.
Whereas my career is kind of a perpetual thing, so it doesn't really have an end.
Mm-hmm.
So now that changes how I structure my life entirely.
Mm.
And that's really uncomfortable, in the sense that there isn't a finite end to where you could say, okay, if today's here, or she's a nurse, she's here, you get married, you can continue with your life, right? You like, but now together, now it's just
I was gonna say it's
you're
not an end.
single, but
You
like,
continue with your life.
and you continue with your life, but there is no, but those, like, what do you call it? Those,
I think
what's
it's
the word I'm looking for? Those landmarks
yeah.
that were there, that were gonna beautify and enhance my life, were now
Mm-hmm.
removed,
Yeah.
and now I'm in an entirely different path.
Well,
That it's
or
like, fuck.
tell me if I'm understanding correctly. Is it kind of just getting back to doing things like alone per se?
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Because you've been like
And also just focusing on more on me, because I have time for me now. Before I used to have time for us. Now that time for us, I have to do something with it.
Yeah.
So then,
So
what
then
now?
it's
Go
like
back to
it's like
old programming.
old going back. That's the hard part. Going back to the old
Well, that's the
programming.
thing. I don't even want to go back to old programming. I want to go like
Old
I have
programming,
to-
as in like it was just me all along,
yes,
and life was still running, and it was good.
right. But
But-
now with the added thing of lament
Yes,
and sorrow and
Because-
grieving something.
because you lost something you liked.
Correct.
Yeah.
And now I learned things along the way in that relationship that have now, whatever the old programming was, I fixed those bugs or updated some software to where the old programming doesn't work anymore. It's now like, it's Josue OS, 30.1,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
I think that's why it's super important. I'm always going back to when you're single. It's to have a life you enjoy.
Yes.
Like Matthew Hussey says, happy enough, right? Because when you do have someone, it makes your life brighter and better. It's an addition.
Right.
But a lot of the times, a lot of us are just waiting for someone to come and
And
make
are
our life
stagnant.
better.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say someone does come make our life better, and then they're gone. You realize how sucky your life was before. Whereas if your life as a single person, as a single woman, was good, right? You had your friends, like everything, you were with God, all this stuff. Someone came along, great, amazing. They left. It's gonna hurt, right? Going back to the not necessarily old programming, as into like getting used to life solo again. That part is gonna hurt, right? Because it's a transition. But at least your life is good. You're not going back to square zero. I have nothing.
Right.
You still have your own personal life, your friends, and all this stuff. That's why I always say it's super important to keep going with your life, doing the passions that you like, your friends, not letting them go, not just focusing on your partner, because then you're just neglecting yourself. And then when you neglect yourself in a relationship and you break up, the breakup's going to be way harder.
Think of it for me. Do you remember what my life was like before today?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was just work.
You're incorrect.
And travel.
Travel.
And work.
The year I stopped traveling was the year I met her. So I went from being a single guy who traveled a lot to now meeting her and setting down roots. And now I find myself single again. But now I'm in a completely past trajectory to where my goal became to putting down roots as opposed to
being a nomad.
Being a nomad and limbo and flexible and ready to go. So now I find myself in a completely new stage of life that can't sustain the Josue operating system pre-Edrei. And that's weird. And that's I had to kind of grieve that. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of grieving. And not just that, but also grieving the potential future that we had.
Yeah.
To where,
yes, of course, you need to grieve
had everything gone as we had planned, it would have been beautiful, wonderful, amazing. But now that's like, and the fact that it's so much effort and, time and whatever went into it, and now see that just kind of dissipate that's kind of hard to be like, oh no, that really sucks. Not
Yeah.
to mention
It takes
that
time.
even if we do get back together in the future, it's I don't even want this. Like I don't even want the same things that I wanted when we first got together, like in
Mm-hmm.
the first
Well,
place.
yeah, because you're in
So
a
now,
different
now,
stage of
yeah,
life.
because now I'm in a different stage of life, and if we were to get back together, it's gonna be an entirely different thing. So it's grieving who I was as a single guy that I can't get back there anymore
No.
because of the way that the relationship changed me,
Yeah.
and grieving the path that I was on to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, even if we were to get back together, have to build something new together, and then processing all of that is
Mm-hmm.
not easy.
It's not
It's
easy.
not easy,
And
and
it's a
it's
long
I mean it's
process.
not meant to be easy, right?
Yeah.
Because if it was easy, I don't think your heart was really into it like that. I
I
think
disagree.
to the proportion. Well, I mean, it's kind of what's saying what you were saying, which is to the proportion that you invest is going to hurt.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean by that.
But I think you can have systems that can help with it. Because, right, because grieving looks different for everybody.
Yes,
So, like, the hurt, because you can't just say, if it doesn't hurt like it hurt me, then you weren't really in love, you know?
that's not what I'm
So,
saying. No,
so
definitely
it's
not.
kind of like you can have system in place. And if you have friendships, people to process it with, that really helps. Whereas if you're just alone in the world, no friends, no connections, it's going to be super hard.
Hmm.
Whereas it's easier to bounce back if you have your village holding you up.
Agreed. I think one kind of added to that, one pitfall that people can fall into when processing all of that is that you can start, this hasn't happened to me, thankfully, thank God, and I hope I never get there, which is like you start saying, did I waste my time?
Mm-hmm.
Did I like, is this a wasted time? And then you start kind of,
Mm-hmm.
what do you call it, thinking about where could I have been had I not gotten
Gone there.
together,
Yeah.
or had we not done that? Like, think of all the places I could have traveled. Think of all the things I could have done with my time, with my money, with whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Think of all the girls I could have met and spent time with. You don't do that.
No, you
You're just
don't.
torturing yourself
Yes.
because it's not like you were together, we were together because we thought God had brought us together, and that's fair. And because we're
Mm-hmm.
sinners, we screw things up, and we get that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't fall into. I guess that's a warning to not fall into that pitfall of lamenting a supposed future
That you don't
that
even
you
know
don't even know
if
you
it
were
was
gonna
going
get,
to
or if it
happen.
was gonna happen. That's exactly right. Because not to
Mm-hmm.
mention, like, I mean, as soon as we got together, this is gonna sound really stupid, but I don't know why I thought of it that way. As soon as we got together, my car started having problems all the time, all the time. I needed new engines all the time. Do you remember?
Yeah, but
We
choke up.
ended things, and my car has had smaller. Like, I don't think I've had a single big issue since.
But you're, yeah, I don't
That
know.
that's the difference between correlation and causation,
Yes,
right?
I was gonna say.
That's not thinking at all. But that's my point. Where you can see a correlation and be like, well, my life would have been here, but that's not causation. Where if you wouldn't have been together,
Yeah,
it would have caused X or Y or whatever. So
yeah,
I think you're right in that. To kind of wrap things up, like, this is why it's important. It's why it's so important in investing in yourself as an individual and being your own,
mm-hmm.
what do you call it, your own independent person is so crucial, so that you're not so lost afterwards, so that you have a starting place, so that there is a Josue operating system to go back to, Josue single
Mm-hmm.
operating system to go back to, or a Smyrna or a Matilda operating system to go back to,
Mm-hmm.
or that you can update and go onto it.
Yeah.
Because if you're like thinking of like, let's say the Josue operating system was outdated to, the 2022, like the 22-year-old
Mm-hmm.
version, that's really outdated, big dog. Like, you
Yeah.
have to, like, that's a really hard starting point. If that was the last time you were single, for example,
Mm-hmm.
because you're just going from relationship to relationship to avoid that being single all the time,
Yeah.
you have to. That's why I think it's so important that we don't lose our individuality,
Yeah.
so that there is an updated, OS to go back to at all
Yeah.
times.
And I think that's why it's so important, our personal relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can, like Ellen G. White says, we can outwardly correct ourselves, but God is the only one that transforms the heart. So he's the only true person that can update our operating system.
I like
Like
that.
our operating system is going back to default time and time again, but God can actually change our operating system for the better and optimize it even more. Because like here, like I have it in the title or whatever thing, it's like planning your life alone again. It's like we're not planning our lives alone. We're planning our lives with God.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're single, but there's someone who is directing our life. We are just the stewards. So if our mindset is like that for now, if we become like, if we break up with someone, like you're going back to just modus operandi with God forward, right? And the mission that he has for us is constant. It never changes. And that is heaven. So I think never forgetting that will help us.
I think that's true. You mind closing us out in prayer, B?
Yeah. Father God, thank you so much for just another day. Thank you for, Lord, because you are in control, Lord, always. Lord, I pray that you help me, Josh, all the listeners out there, draw ever closer to you, Lord, because you're the one that changes our mindsets. You're the one that actually transforms us. And when things outside of our control come, such as a breakup, and we feel like we're back at square one, we don't have to be if you've been with us all along. So I pray, God, that you help us just surrender to you daily.
Amen.
And draw ever closer to you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for having spent time with us. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like, and in the comments, let us know what you liked about it. Be sure to share this with a friend, and as always, we'll see you all next time.